Hey, I'm Jonah.
And I'm Chantel.
And this is the Saturday Morning Board Game Show. Hey, we are live from Tantrum House Studio 3 for our Saturday Morning Board Game Show.
Today we're going to be playing a bunch of games. And make sure that you're interacting in the comment section because Jonah right here is going to be answering some of your questions. And then later on today, we're actually going to be playing a game together.
Right, so in the comments in just a second, you'll have your choices of games to choose from that you want to see us play together. And you also check them out in just a second in our video. We're also, at the end of the show, going to be giving away a copy of Guardian's Call. So make sure you stay with us for the whole show to have a chance to win that. And if you're not watching live, you can go to our website and enter our current contest for a chance to win as well.
All right, now it's time to join the rest of the crew. Let's go.
To our Saturday morning board game show. Katie and I are starting off today talking about Stampede. This is from WizKids and it's from designer Joran Geenan. And in the game you are stamp collecting and you start with a small hand of cards. You have 3 cards in your hand and on your turn you're going to draw a card and then you're going to play a card. And you will play it into your little stamp album that you are collecting, but everyone else can see your stamp album and all of the cards interact with everyone else, and so your cards are going to be moving around the table and you are trying to collect 5 of the same animal stamp or collect all 9, one of each of the different animals in the deck. So I'm going to start off. I took my card and then I am going to play a card. And I am going to play a baboon. A baboon lets me switch a card from my hand with a card that's out on the table. And so I am going to switch this alligator with another baboon.
Oh no.
To try and make a set of
I was going to start collecting baboons, but now you've thrown me off. So I draw one from here. Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. And then I will play a baboon as well. I am collecting. And then I get to swap one out here. And I really just like the look of these little parakeets. Or, I don't know.
Parrots, yeah.
Parrots.
So those ones, they don't have an action, but if you can collect all of the parrots, then you get.
Oh man!
You can win that way.
Maybe
so
I should have known.
It's a little bit easier to just play those down and get through getting them faster. But yeah, it's a different way to win.
Yeah.
So
they've got some cute little illustrations here. I don't know if you can.
Yeah, there are 9 different animals in the deck. Yeah. You have a little cheat sheet so that you know what all of the animals do, and it's language independent. So if you're playing with younger kids, then
nice.
They don't have to know how to read to play this game. They can just follow the icons on the cards.
So
and they're pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does look pretty easy to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with these as I lay them down.
Yeah, so that is Stampede from WizKids, and we are heading over to the table.
Woo! Welcome over to the table. Melissa, what do we have here?
We are looking at Monster Baby Rescue. This is from Delicious Games in Rio Grande Games, and it's a little bit of an action selection, movement, and upgrading game.
This is designed by Vladimir Suche. I'm not good. I just murdered it, but that's okay. Anyway, he's designed some pretty popular games out there. Some games from Czech Games Edition, like Last Will, Pulsar 2849, and Underwater Cities, which I haven't gotten to the table yet, but it's on the docket to play.
So this one is not at the complexity level of those games. It's a little simpler. It's more of a family
Yeah, definitely
play
can tell by the
game.
theme. Yeah.
But there are still some interesting decisions that you have to make in really deciding what you're doing for your action. So basically, whoever's furthest back on the track is going to take their turn, which is you, Kevin.
This is I am this baby orc right now, so I can decide what action tile I want to take. So let's say I want to take this right here. I would go 2 spots, so 1, 2, and I would slide all the way to the front of that section, and I would take this. And this says that I can upgrade the torso of my baby orc. So now I'm going to level 2 because I sort of mid-game here. Level 2 to level 3. I just got a knife.
And our imaginary player is next.
Katie,
So
where are you?
These,
I'm coming! Katie's our imaginary. Katie's not imaginary.
I'm not
You're a
imaginary
baby
anymore.
dragon.
Yes.
So then
baby
you are
dragon.
next in line. So you can take any of these actions. This gets you beds for your.
it's a scoring tile at the end of the game.
You need
Right,
to-
but she doesn't have beds. It just
Oh,
scores
I got
beds.
you.
So I think I'm gonna take this feat with the heart.
All right, that costs 4 action spots.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
Oh man,
4. Woo!
they're not individual stones.
Oh, no.
Okay, never mind.
That's
Y'all
way
are-
too expensive.
That's way too. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I was just gonna go 1,
I
2, 3,
recommend
4.
this wizard doctor here.
The wizard
He's
doctor.
gonna help you with scoring extra things at the end of the game.
Okay.
2 spots. That's a little better.
So basically, as we are pulling tiles and moving across the board, we are trying to maximize scoring. All of these up here are whoever is the first to reach that achievement will get the points. The hearts that you see are points. There's also some end game goals that we are trying to achieve during the game. And then you can even get more tiles that will help you score. So if I take that pink one at the bottom,
Mhm.
Kenneth, can you
Yes.
do that
And it's
for
your
me?
turn actually.
And
So
you
get
move me
spots.
2.
1, 2.
So-
Oh, and then you go behind Katie there.
Yep. So I
Oh,
will
no, so I'm still
score
last?
Yes.
extra. I will score extra for every 2 beds. So it looks like I'm collecting beds, and I'll get more.
This is a really interesting
Oh.
game. Like Melissa said, not only for
I thought
families,
this was like canned food, but I can see that it's a bed.
yeah, it's a bed for your animal. For your monster.
Mhm.
So it's really good for adults too because there's some different ways of getting points and taking your actions. And as you just saw, you can sort of move really far ahead and get something you really want, or you can sort of play. Maybe I'll just take these tiles that take less action.
And hope that that tile's still there when it comes around. And
Yeah.
it's cheaper.
Okay. Would I get this? Because I have
Oh
these
yes,
two guys.
you do. So that goes on top of that.
Katie, you got this game already.
I already know it.
So this game is for 2 to 5 players. I don't know if Melissa said that or not.
I did not.
So 2 to 5 players, Monster Baby Rescue.
Plays in about 30 minutes or
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
When you get through all the tiles and other things.
Yeah.
So.
And then you'll count up the end game scoring, and you're going to be looking at lots of different ways of scoring, and that is from Rio Grande Games. And by the time you finish the game, hopefully you have rescued your baby monster, and they're all clean and have lots of cool trinkets and weapons.
Oh yeah, this one's got all kinds of gear and armor.
Yep. All right, back to the couch.
So Liam and I are talking about bees. We've had a lot of bee games come out recently. This is from Van Ryder Games and Awaken Realms Light. This is a set collection game, and on your turn, you're going to draw 2 of the bee cards. So
Bee
Liam's going to
cards.
do that for us.
And then on them have what you can get. So
Yep.
like you could get if you choose one of them to play, and then you get whatever's on the card.
Yep. So let's pretend Liam shows this card here. There are 2 purple pollen at the top, so that's what Liam gets. Everyone else at the table will get whatever's at the bottom of the card. So this card, since Liam got 2 of the same thing, everyone else will just get 1 of that type, and then and that's his turn. On my turn, I am going to look through the deck here and find there are some pollen cards where you can get 1 of every type of pollen, all 4, but so does everyone else on the table.
Yeah.
So you are helping others out. And then there's some where you have a choice, and on the ones with the choice, you get 2 different colors, but everyone else at the table will also get a choice. They get 1. So this one has a yellow sunflower and a red rose. Everyone else at the table can choose to take either
Yellow or red.
Either yellow or red. So you'll be gaining those. So instead of getting pollen on your turn, you can also, instead of doing that, you can trade in your pollen to make honey. So if it were my turn, I could trade in a red and a yellow to get this pollen card. Most of the cards in the deck have an action that you also take when you gain the card. So this one says every other player may exchange one of their pollen gems for another. So
I could, if I had to have like
trying to go for one of them.
One of them, and then I could, if I didn't want this purple and I wanted a blue, I could trade that out.
Yep. So you keep playing, and you have a certain number of cards in the deck that you start off with for your player count. If you want to make the game a little bit more difficult, there are these advanced mode cards. They have some extra end game goals that you can add to it. This is a very light game, but it's enjoyable. We played with our kids down to our 7-year-old, and he played just fine. Yeah. And this one has things like every honey card without action text is worth additional victory points. So there are a few cards in the deck that you can use any color of pollen to fulfill the card, but there's no text at the bottom, so you're not going to get a bonus action. Some of the higher valued pollen cards will have actions that allow everyone else to do something beneficial and you don't get to. Yeah. The lower ones will give a bonus for yourself.
Yeah, it's definitely a catch the leader kind of thing with those cards.
Yes, it is.
And I don't think we mentioned, but these, the white, since there's no white pollen, it's just random.
Yep, you can play anything you'd like. So one other rule in the game is you cannot have more than 3 of the same type of pollen. So it keeps you from hoarding too much. It makes you spend it where you need to spend it. So that is Bees from Van Ryder Games and Awakened Realms Light. So we are going to head back over to the table and see what they're talking about.
Hey, we are back here at the table, and Katie's about to show us a game from Jelly Bean Games. What do we got, Katie?
Show and Tile. This is a game that is all about trying to make an image with the little tiles that you're given.
Right.
They have these little handy dandy boards that are really easy to follow. It tells you what you should have, and it talks about putting your name on a score sheet. We probably won't do that just for this round. But then what you do is you are going to draw 2 cards right here, and these cards have words on them. This one says saw, window, and maple leaf.
Okay.
And what you're going to try to do is you're going to choose one of these words off of one of the cards here. If it has the star behind it, it's a little bit harder to represent, and you'll get an extra point if people are able to guess what you've drawn with your shapes if you choose one of those. So you'll choose one of the ones, you'll put them face down, and then everybody at the same time will construct a picture. Yeah.
What?
On the back of this is this blank space. This is for
for
it
us
is.
to make our words.
And are we each doing different ones?
Yes, we're each doing different ones. So everybody
Draw
go
2.
ahead and draw 2.
All right, here we go.
I will not use any ones I already read out.
And we're picking one of these.
You pick one word off of any of the cards.
Can we stack?
I believe that is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so what you're going to do is we'll all have exactly a minute on this timer to try and make something that you can get the other people to guess what it is.
All right.
Okay?
Are we ready? We're going to flip it?
Yep.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, go. And you've got 2 colors, so use those as needed. Oh no, how does this work? What is that? No.
This is awful. And
You are allowed to overlap.
I am totally overlapping.
and this is actually one of the games that you're voting on whether you want to play with us at the end
All right.
of the.
All right.
What is that?
like he made a weird. There's something weird. I don't know, Kevin.
I don't know what to figure out if people at home can guess too, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that is.
I'll just see if I can try to make mine better somehow.
Can I steal yours? I think yours better.
No, don't steal mine, Kevin.
No, they.
Yours, you have two colors.
You have blue and green.
You have blue, green. She's got red and yellow. I've got red and green.
I know I have. I'm gonna redo mine. I didn't know I had this.
You didn't know you had different colors. Yes, they're each double-sided.
Thank you, Katie. Whew.
I don't know. I think my first one was probably the best, but
Wish I had another color.
a third color.
All right. I think we're gonna call it.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do. So then what we do is
Here we go.
we're going to go around and we're going to guess what it is. If anybody guesses what Melissa's is,
Which I doubt they will.
then she will get 2 points. If you guess correctly, you get 1 point. So regardless of how many people get it correct, Melissa will only get 2 points for her thing. Unless she did the one with a star, and then it's
Right.
a 3 point. So, Kevin?
I'm gonna guess it's a road.
I'm going to guess a hamburger.
It is a burger.
Is it? Yeah! Yay!
Wow.
Awesome.
Very nice.
All right, so you would get 2 points, I assume,
Sounds good.
and I would get 1 point. Kevin
What do I have?
made a sandwich.
I made a sandwich.
I was gonna say like a fish sandwich.
It does look like it
It
might
was
have
fish
fish in
sandwich.
there.
See?
Because it's blue,
This-
but you
Yeah.
I
didn't
couldn't.
get to
I didn't
choose
have.
that
I didn't
color.
get to choose colors. You
Yeah.
had nice having colors.
Yeah, for
her.
doing food.
That's why I
yeah.
chose
So
burger.
mine was a sandwich. Thank you.
Nice.
All right, Katie.
All right, guess mine.
Is it a house?
Lisa, what do you guess?
Is it a Christmas tree?
Okay, it was a hut.
Oh, I was close.
Specifically a hut, but
I was
mine was
close.
the one with the star, so I
Oh,
was like,
okay.
this is going to be really hard to do. Everybody's going to guess house. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's show and tile.
Yeah, so that is it.
Back to the couch.
Hey guys, so we're looking at Guardian's Call, which we got a little teeny sneak peek at the very beginning. This is one of the games that we're giving away on this episode.
Yep.
Jonas had a chance to play through it. I read the rules, so I'm familiar with it. Let me talk about the prize first, and then we'll talk about the game. If you are watching right now, let us know, say hi, do all that good stuff, because we're going to draw one winner from the comments at the end of the show. If you are not watching this live, you're coming back and you're checking it out, go to our website, tantrumhouse.com, scroll down on the right just a little bit, and there's a button that says Enter Our Current Contest. If you click on that button, it'll give you a chance to win this game, and not just this game, it'll be actually, you'll get added to our list for the entire year for all the prizes that we do as drawings and giveaways. So sign up, join that, and then also, I think, I'm just making this up on the spot, but Jonah and I did a review of the new Fortune expansion for Tiny Towns. We need to do a winner for that as well, so we're going to do the drawing for that at the end of this show too, so stay tuned so you can see who that is, or, yeah, who that is. All right, tell us about Guardian's Call.
Absolutely. So Guardian's Call is it's a little bit of a deck building game, like in your hand, and also you're obviously playing a little bit of the castle track here as well. The object of the game is to, of course, collect the most coins to win, the most points to win, and you do so by a little bit of bluffing. So how a normal turn works in this particular game is that you draw up to 6 cards in your hand. So you've got 5 that are face up here, or of course you could draw from the top of the stack. So I'm going to draw 2 cards here, and every time you draw, of course, you'll replenish those cards. Then I have to offer some of the cards in my hand to another player. So I'm not actually able to bluff about the number of cards that I'm offering, Will, but I can bluff about what the cards are. See, in the game, there's about 5 different options of cards. There's weapons, there's shields, there's spells, which are kind of wild.
And there are curses.
Yeah, there's villagers and there are curses. So you can never tell the opposing player that you're giving them curses. And again, you can't lie about the number of cards. And every card that you give the player has to be the exact same type. So I might say, Will, I'm giving you 3 weapons. And Will has to tell us if that is true or false. If it's Go ahead.
I don't believe you.
You don't. He doesn't believe it. So he flips it over. I said 3 weapons, and it's not. It's 3 villagers. So because it was not true, Will actually keeps the cards. He guessed correctly. He keeps the cards, and I'll get a coin because I was not able to keep the cards. So every time that you offer cards to another player, it's either you're keeping the cards or you're getting a coin. The coins are going to end up being used to, you can do a couple things. With 3 coins, you can buy a card straight out of the 5 that are available to add it to your board. Or with 5 coins, you can actually purchase a curse from the 5 cards available and automatically correct the curse. And it's actually worth 5 points even at the end of the game.
Yeah, so it helps everybody actually because it removes it from the board, but you get the victory points from it.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You've got different ways that you can move in the game, and that allows you to move up this track. And the first player to pass one of the victory points will add those to their board as well. You've got some different set collection gauges where the more of a card you get, the more points you get. Or if you have, I think it's the most armies, what is the battle card?
Weapons.
If you have the most at the end, you get 10 points. If you have the second most, you get 5 points. So a lot of different set collection things going on. But then, yeah, that bluffing thing is pretty cool. One of the nice mechanics in the game is that when you make an offering to one of the team players, you have to flip over your offering tile, and that way you can't keep offering the same person cards over and over. So it kind of fixes some potentially broken bidding mechanic types of stuff or trading mechanics. So I like that. Once you've done everybody, then they reset and you can keep going from there. And then obviously the player to have collected the most points at the end of the game.
Absolutely. One thing that I like about the game is these villagers. When you put villagers to your board, like I've got one right here, and you put it on your board, the villagers actually is what help you move up this castle track. And one of the cool aspects of this game is that if another player occupies a spot, you actually get to jump right past them. So you just leapfrog right past them instead of having to stop on the same spot. So if you set it up correctly and you're playing with enough people, maybe one villager might move you 3 or 4 or 5 spots. Yeah. So that's really helpful. The game does, I will definitely tell you, the game does kind of end a little bit abruptly. About a third of the way through the stack of Guardian cards, the deck, and about the last fourth of the stack, there are 2 cards that kind of trigger the game's about to end and then the game's over. And those cards also give you points for where you are in the game, but as soon as you draw that card, everybody gets one more turn, I believe, and then it's done. So it can happen pretty fast if you're not paying attention to what you're working for. Sometimes you've got some long-term goals, but you might not get there because the card just might be drawn.
Snappy, yeah. Cool stuff. If you're interested, check out Guardian's Call. I think we're ready to roll back to the table.
Welcome back to Kevin and Melissa at the table.
Okay, we're looking at Tournament at Avalon. This is a standalone game in the realm of Tournament at Camelot.
Yeah, from WizKids. And if you're familiar with the Tournament at Camelot, it's very similar. A trick-taking game. If you're not familiar with trick-taking games, basically, if you ever played Hearts or Rook or games like that, it's very similar to games like that where you're playing cards from your hand to try and win sets of cards. So, but this one's a little different.
Yeah, it's very similar to Camelot, where each player has a character. There are all new characters in this version, and they have special powers. What you're going to do is someone leads off the trick and plays a card into the battle.
And I'd have to follow suit.
So he'd have to play
another sword. Oh. And I have 4 swords.
So technically this game is for 3 to 6 players.
Someone else would play, and then whoever
is the lowest basically had the lowest amount of strength in that battle.
Which is bad for tournaments.
And so you take all the cards, and they are going to be hit points, wounds at the end of the round. So you're going to keep track of your health on these cards. An interesting thing is once you get to a certain level of wounds, you're going to unlock another power from your character. So it kind of helps you a little bit as you go on.
Let's talk a little bit about the characters. I think that's one of the new things for Tournament at Avalon. So if you want to look at some of these here, this one's kind of cool. Lancelot can basically not take shame, and shame's very bad. He gets another way of getting injury in the game. And I know one of our friends played this one with the lion tokens, and it's another way of having more power and things like that. Melissa, what do you have?
So Merlin, he can add an extra sorcery card to a battle to match another player, and that's called a feint.
You can spy on someone else's card, so that's where those manipulation pieces come into play.
Absolutely. So this game's going to remind you just a little bit of memory. It's also going to remind you a little bit of Uno. It's got kind of an Uno feel. So both players start with 4 cards in front of them, but you can only look at 2 of the cards. So you're able to look at 2 of your cards, and the entire purpose of the game is to finish with 4 cards in front of you that are low numbers, okay? Low numbers. It's first one to 100 loses in this game. So here's how you do it. It's a draw one, replace one type of game. So for instance, you can take the face-up card off of the discard pile, or you can take the face-down card off of the deck. So I'll do that, and I'll replace that with one of the cards that's in my 4 in front of me. And when I discard it, of course, it's now going to be face-up. Then it passes to the next person.
So I get to choose whether I want one from the discard pile or pick a new card. So 8's pretty high compared to the cards that I had, so I'm going to pick from the new deck. All right. And I'm going to... Now, I went ahead and replaced it with a card that I have not looked at all. And look at that.
So she replaced it with a card she hadn't looked at, and it happened to be one of the best cards in the game, right? It's a 0. And of course, it's lowest score wins. You're not trying to get high scores. So I'm going to take the 0 from the discard pile, and since I took it from the discard pile, it actually has to stay face up in front of me because it was face up in the discard. Then I'll replace it with one of my cards and put that in the discard pile. Once you feel like you have 4 cards in front of you that are low numbers, you're actually going to call Cabo. By doing that, you don't get to go again, but the other person does get one more turn. Then, when the other person takes their turn, go ahead. Then, when the other person takes their turn, you flip all cards that aren't face up over to be face up, and you add the total of your cards up. Now, because I called Cabo, I was thinking I had pretty low cards, and as you can see here, I actually had a 12 in my hand, so that's not very good. I finished the game with 17 points in the numbers of cards in front of me, and she finished the game with looks like 16 points. So she actually won. 16 for her there, and 17 for me here. So I called Cabo, and I didn't actually win. So I not only have to add up all 17 points on the cards in front of me, I actually have to add 10 more because I called Cabo, and I didn't have the lowest number of cards in my hand. So because of that, it's now 27 to 16, 27 to 16, and again, we're going up to 100. First one to 100 loses. So that's the Cabo, and this is the deluxe edition that you'll notice actually has 2 decks inside of it. So that way, when you run out of cards here, you can filter in the new deck and just keep going. So, yeah, absolutely.
So a couple other cool things about it is that obviously you do have 4 cards, but the lowest number wins the round, right? So one cool thing that you could actually do is that when you have 2 cards that are the same number and you know that you have that, if you had drew a card and let's say it was a really low number, you can go ahead and turn in these 2. Now remember, you have to make sure that you got it right, because if it's not correct, you get to keep all those cards. So you get to turn in those 2 cards for if you had drew a card and it was lower. Now my number is obviously way lower than what Jonah has, and I can continue going that way. And like another thing, you know, some of these cards have the word swap on them, peek and spy. Swap, if I know that Jonah has, like he had that 0, I can go ahead and put that card right here, that swap, take that 0, and now he doesn't have it whatsoever. Peek, you get to look at a card that you haven't looked at, and then spy, I can look at one of his cards and see what it is that he has as well. So that's where we said like that manipulation comes in, and if you're really competitive, it's a really good game to play.
Absolutely.
So Cabo, people are talking and asking about, is it close to Silver? It's from the same company, Bezier, and it is very similar. Silver is maybe like a level up from Cabo. It has more power cards and things like that. So yeah, people, you are on the right track.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what we have for Cabo. I think we're going to go back to the table.
Okay, we are looking at, and Kevin just walked in front of my shot. Thank
Yeah.
you. We're looking at an expansion to Clank in Space, Cyber Station. Is that 11 or 2?
Cyber Station 11.
Cyber
My
Station
question
11.
is the sound better over here? That's the big question. Everyone's asking.
All right. We adjusted the microphone. Hopefully you can hear a little bit better.
No audio.
No audio. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, didn't want you to get started. Maybe we can just like do that.
Well, if there's no audio, that's not going to help. Do we have audio?
Do you have audio over here?
Can
still?
you hear me?
It's probably coming up from It's probably coming from
All
this one.
right. So, I am now yelling. Can you hear me?
I think it's coming from this mic over here.
Okay, we are adjusting the mics. We're getting a little bit closer. Will's bringing me the mic. Oh, thank you, Will. What service? Okay, so we are talking about Clank in Space Expansion Cyber Station 11. We good with the sound now? Am I good?
Much better.
All right. So this is an expansion to Clank in Space. It is not a standalone game. You have to have the base game of Clank in Space to play. This one comes with a lot of new tiles because you are not on the spaceship anymore. You are now on a space station. So all of these tiles that you see come with the game. You will need to use a few tiles from the base game to fill in some of these spots here. But the new things that this brings is there are places for your escape pods that are very different from the original. You have 2 escape pods here, 2 escape pods here, and once your rage tracker person, monster, dude gets to this spot here, you actually add 2 more escape pods that are closer up in the station, but they're only going to be worth 10 points instead of 20 if you use those escape pods. Another big thing, new thing in this game is you have cards that are cyberware. If you play this and you spend a power crystal, you get to keep this card out in front of you for the rest of the game. So it's going to be a permanent sword or a permanent credit or whatever sort of things that they have. Maybe it's health if you have the right factions played with it. So these cyberware cards are new. It also comes with some other cards to add to your deck, some new enemies and other faction characters, more of what you've had before in the game. So this is Clank in Space Cyber Station 11. If you want something new for your layout, if you get frustrated by not being able to get to the escape pods, there's more options. Just know if you're going for these and they're both taken, you then have to adjust and come to an area where there's still an escape pod. But that is Clank in Space Cyber Station 11. And now we're going to go back to the couch and take the microphone back.
And we're live. Oh, maybe. All right. Welcome back over here to the couch. So we're about to close the show out, but before we do, we wanted to talk a little bit about, hey, Melissa.
Hello.
Talk about the new Time Story series, the Revolution series, called this one's the Halo Project, and this is a game that Melissa and I designed back years ago, and it's finally being published this year. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, so we designed it back in about 2015, 2016, back when they had the white cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So what we wrote was for the, reruns and all of that. So Space Cowboys had to do a lot of development.
They did a lot of development because they wanted to just refresh the series, and they now call it the Blue Series. And I actually like a lot that they changed in the series. So there's no more Gopher
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day, where you're rerunning, like Melissa was saying, and instead of rolling dice in the game, you are spending these crystals, these Azrak crystals in the game to take these actions. There's other things. There's some card-based attacks that you can do, and things like that. But it's very similar in how you are playing the compared to the old
the story-wise.
Story-wise, you're going to lay out the location, and you're going to look at the different cards, and you're going to be going through a story
and mystery. And we can't really spoil too much, but we really wanted to talk about the Halo project and how cool it is. So.
Yeah, I would say it takes probably about 3 to 3.5 hours to play.
Yeah.
One sitting. If you don't have that amount of time, there are a few spots where the game makes it easy for you to pause, put it away, and then come back to it.
Yes, we did make that that was part of our design as well, that we wanted to have some stopping points in the game, and you will find that in this game. So if you only have an hour or so to play, I think you can do 3 sessions like that and enjoy the Halo project. But not only is the Revolution series coming out with the Halo project as the first new box, but there's also this experience box, and Melissa's going to explain that real quick.
So this is not an actual scenario. It's something that you use alongside the scenarios, and it gives a bit of a campaign feel to the game. Each person has a specific character that you'll be upgrading throughout the scenarios. There's a little bit you do before you play the game, like setting up skills and potentially weaknesses. There's a little bit of storyline there, and then you play the game, and depending on how you do your mission report, that will affect what happens to your characters, because these are the agents, the time agents that remain the same, the ones that are jumping into the other people's bodies. So throughout its, experience, they're gaining experience, they're gaining maybe trauma, weaknesses, depending on how well you do.
Yeah, so check it out. It should be in stores really soon here, if not already. Check it out, and we'd love for you to play the Halo project. Come on in, guys.
We're coming! By the way, congrats. That's so exciting.
Yes, it's exciting.
All right, so we've got...
room for everybody?
Yeah, you could have probably stayed here.
Do you have any
my friend.
comments
I was
or
gonna come
things
in
that
here.
we should look at?
So I think Jonah has
I'm
done
so
some
sorry.
tallying.
I've done a little bit of tallying, and I think the game that had the most votes for us to play at the end of today's show is... Medium. I think
Medium.
had the most
Right.
votes.
Oh, medium. Cool.
All right, so cool. We've had an opportunity to play this a bunch of times. Super fun. Jonah's too tall. We knew that. I think the way we're going to play this is, so we're going to play the YouTube Live Party Edition, which I made up just now. The way you play the real game is everyone gets a hand of 5 cards.
Right.
I'll just go ahead and give some people some cards so they have some
Oh,
stuff
thank
in
you.
their hand.
Thank you. Are you just making up rules again?
That's right, as usual. You'll get the gist.
If you played medium, let us know in the comments as well. We'd like to hear about that. You know,
Alright.
for people who are commenting about the other games, Wavelength and Show and Tile, I'm sure eventually in the coming Saturday morning board game shows, we'll be able to play those as well. So,
Should be fun. So when you play the game, you look at your hand of cards. One player starts by picking a card, and I'm just going to make this easy for everybody. I'm going to pick one, and then...
how do you know it's easy?
Well,
Depends
I'm
on what
gonna,
we have.
I'm going to help us out. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it does depend on what we have.
But the way I'm going to... Okay, so normally you play the card, and the person to your left has to play a card,
Alright.
and then you mind meld.
Let's try it.
But I think
Oh.
if anybody has a good match for Broom, we just do it.
Oh,
Okay,
go
I'll
for
do
it.
it.
All right, so she's already got one.
Oh, well, the
Why did
audience at home needs to know what they're doing with these 2
Correct.
cards.
So let's see the
Oh,
word.
that's
Oh,
true.
maybe not. Do you have a
Are
word?
we just picking a word in the middle?
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, exactly. So normally you play the 2 cards, which I don't know if you can see them, but they're here. We've got the word
Always say them out loud. Will's is.
broom.
And mine is Halloween.
All right.
So you play this on the table, then you look at each other and you mind meld, and you take a second, make sure you're like on the same
Can the
brain
people
wave.
at home guess as well?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I want you guys to guess too. And then on 3, you would say 3, 2, 1, and we would shout out the answer. And if we're right, we get 1 type of victory point. If we're wrong, we get a second guess where we take the 2 new words and we have to guess, and then we even get a third one.
All right, well, let's try the first one.
All right. I think we're ready. You guys are ready at home. We can't see your answers. Maybe
I
Jonah
think-
can. I don't know.
No, there's no
Type them
answers
in.
yet.
All right. So Katie and I are gonna mind meld. 3, 2, 1.
One.
Witch.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we
Well,
would get a point.
you said whoever's got one
Right,
good
right,
that goes
exactly.
with it.
Exactly. Makes it way easier when you have a perfect one. Sometimes you have weird cards in your hand that don't match anything. Does
All
somebody
right.
else
But I
want to
draw a
try
new card,
one?
right?
Yes,
Yep.
and technically it's Melissa's turn, although she should have gone last time. But that's all right.
Right.
Should've
People are
been
definitely
able to.
saying
Let's
which.
go
Good
with
job.
roller
I'm
coaster.
sorry, Katie's going to do
Oh,
it.
Or
Are you
okay.
gonna do
I
it?
mean,
All right,
everybody's
let's do it.
We're just
Alright.
cheating. This is
Roller
just fun.
coaster.
Anybody that has a good one. Oh, I mean, I have one,
Do you have one?
but I don't know if
You're
everybody will get
just
the right
making
answer.
it so
Yo,
easy.
I
so
think
hold
it's
on.
Kevin's turn. though.
Okay.
Kevin's
Pick a
turn.
word.
Ketchup.
Roller
Oh.
coaster and ketchup.
Good
Ready?
That,
All right,
Three.
you guys at home. Roller coaster and ketchup.
3, 2, 1.
One.
Hot
Theme
dog.
park.
All right, so
I would have gone with
you
theme
said
park too.
theme park.
The thing between these.
True.
You said theme park.
I said theme
You
park.
said hot dog.
Hot dog.
All right, so theme park and hot dog is their new word. We've got to mind meld again. Did anybody else say theme
Hold on,
park
I didn't
or
even-
hot dog?
People
I
are
didn't.
still
I definitely didn't.
theme park or
I
hot
would've said
dog.
hot dog, yeah.
Oh
You would have
man.
said hot dog. You should have gone with
Theme
Melissa. then. Are y'all
All right.
two gonna be next?
Ready?
I
I got
would've
it.
put this.
All right.
Austin Park.
Say it.
3, 2, 1.
Expensive.
Expensive vendor. Okay, I feel like you can narrow that down.
At the theme park? Yeah.
Oh, that, okay, you're right. That's true. 10
All right.
votes.
Expensive.
And
Third
All right,
round,
I got
final
this. I got
try.
this.
Anybody get expensive or vendor? You might have won.
Melissa can do this. Yeah. Expensive theme park.
No, it's
vendor.
expensive and vendor.
Oh, and vendor.
Oh.
Oh, hold on.
Melissa can do it. Can Kevin do it?
Oh, expensive
Expensive
vendor.
vendor.
Oh.
Ooh, do you reach
Come on,
inside
just-
or outside?
Just keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
All right,
What?
you ready? Any ideas?
I have no idea.
Send your mental message to him, Melissa. Focus in, use brainwaves. Anybody in the audience?
Yes,
Feel
counting
free.
on Liam.
3, 2, 1.
Money.
Oh, I was gonna
Money.
say
Keep
Coca-Cola.
it simple.
Coca-Cola.
Money. Expensive vendor
Money.
money. Very good.
All right, so no points for them.
Yeah.
See, that's more fun to get it wrong
Did
than
it?
to have it easy.
And actually, the most fun is when you nailed it on that third one. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
finally work your way up.
So it's
you
back
got a
to-
card?
All right.
Oh,
You wanna ask it
Liam,
back here?
Liam and Jonah?
All right.
All right, what's your
What are
Tell
we
us,
playing?
tell us what your cards
What's
are.
your word, Liam?
I'll do this.
All right, so he's doing grass.
All right, grass is Liam's word. Jonah, he's got no good words.
Right, it gets tough sometimes.
for grass.
Someone said funnel cake.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, that would
That
be.
would-
Do you put ketchup on funnel cake?
No, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Grass and chalk. Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Grass
Right.
and chalk.
Grass and
Grass
All right,
and
let's
chalk.
see it.
All right.
3,
Over.
2,
Are you ready to get one?
1.
Driveway.
Oh, that was so
Oh.
close. Sidewalk and driveway.
That's
It's
so
like
close.
The same concept.
Half
different
point.
words.
Can you do it?
And
And
you
do
got
the
the
other
next
one.
Then
one.
do
I
it.
don't know. Sidewalk driveway?
You guys got something.
You
You
got
Ah,
it,
You got
surely.
I'm sure
Driveway.
we can figure something
I
Go
out.
for
would say
that
I would say
base.
something that makes it, but
But we gotta-
I just gotta do a word.
right.
he's not gonna get it.
Oh.
He's not gonna say the same thing.
All
All
right,
right,
let's try it.
3, 2, 1.
Asphalt.
Road
Asphalt road. Okay, final try.
All
Asphalt
right.
road.
3,
Do you have one?
2, 1.
Gravel.
That was
Oh.
cement.
Yeah,
I would have gone car.
I would have done car as well.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
I would have said cement when
Yeah.
you said
The
asphalt.
first one,
but-
yeah. Yeah. All right, has everybody played one?
Yep.
Yep.
Should we play one with just the audience at home?
Yeah, we
Tell
should.
us which card. Are we switching camera angles?
Can you see that camera angle?
We've got
No, I
these.
can't see it.
It's a lot of Will's shoulder.
I'm
It's-
ducking. Here we go. We can do this.
Oh no, you can do this. We can do it.
All right.
There it is.
Can
All right.
you read it? It's probably focused right here, though. We've got card number 1.
Tail. Read them out.
Oh, okay. This is less fun for you guys. Tail. For word number 2, potato.
Well, you choose one and then.
Sorry.
Word number 3, mouth.
People are.
World number 4, world.
You choose.
Desert, because there's one S, because I don't like them. And
Oh.
orange. I like 2 S's in my dessert. All right.
Yeah.
Have we
So-
picked
so
it? Give me a number.
Say that again.
Tail, potato,
It's like 30 seconds behind.
mouth, dessert, nope, desert, and orange.
Which one do we want them to choose?
Should we choose a word first?
We're literally just getting to your hands right now on the
That's
video.
They don't know that we're in the time delay.
Yeah, but they can't respond.
Right, that's okay. We'll
Okay.
keep waiting. All right, so they're going to give us a word, and then who's going to play the other match?
Maybe there'll be. Okay.
I like baby shower.
All right, we got
Yeah,
one for
one for
desert. We got
dessert,
one
one
for
for
orange.
All right.
Okay.
I'll throw one down.
I need a second one. Give me a vote for 2 so I have a majority. Hurry! Pick the same word as someone else. This is practice.
2 deserts. Go. Desert.
Desert, all right.
All right.
That was your warm-up. Good job.
Desert.
All right, audience is in sync.
All right, here we go.
Desert, what are we matching to
Ooh.
desert?
Another
Hey, I
desert.
got a good one.
Oh, which one do you think I should lay down? That one? I was thinking that one too.
All right, we got desert
All right.
But
for the
I'm
audience.
not sure what I'm going to do with it. I'm laying down
Desert,
horse.
Okay,
Horse.
I think we all got this.
Oh yeah, I
Desert
think
horse.
so.
All right, are you with
Yeah.
us, audience?
I think we got
do we
this.
want
Give us your
every
answers.
single
Type in.
person
Yeah,
to
yeah. We
do
won't
an
even pause
answer?
this. We're gonna just sign language what the answer is. Just kidding. I don't know how to sign language. All right, so
Give him 5 seconds.
all right, we
Give
get 5
us-
more time delayed real life seconds. Type in your answers.
One guess.
Whoever guesses correctly we'll draw from that number for Guardian's Call. Does that sound good? We'll randomize the roller from the answers that align with our brains. You deserve Guardians.
Well, what if
we
we
get 2
all-
Guardians Calls away.
But-
One for this one and another.
Are we all answering? Because then they could match with like
There
8
could be
different.
multiples. Yeah, we'll just do
I
one person.
know,
We'll
because
roll,
I can
we'll
think
roll
of
the
2
die from
really
everyone who gets
good
the answer
things for this.
right. 2, there's only 1. Katie, don't mess it up.
All right, let Will do it.
All right, have
then.
we gotten any answers, Ryan?
We do have a few.
Okay.
Okay.
I
All right,
have.
here we
I
go.
think- I have
All right,
one. Okay,
everybody.
Will.
I'm gonna say
Same
whatever
time.
I see the most of.
Everybody. You're going to say whatever you see the most of? Okay. 3, 2, 1. Cowboy. Cowboy.
I was gonna say
I saw 2
cowboy.
cowboys, a camel, and an Arabian.
Oh, we only
I
got
was
one
like-
camel?
I was like
I know, I
Arabian
was thinking-
horse, camel.
Arabian
Cowboy.
Did you say cowboy?
Yeah.
Oh, she did say
Cowboy.
cowboy. All right, well, so that counts as a also correct answer. Did somebody say Arabian out loud?
No, but
No.
that was my
Someone said
other
Arabian.
choice.
All right, so we got an Arabian in Katie's mind.
Yep.
You said
Cowboy.
cowboy, and everybody else said camel. All right, Ryan, how many people correctly, even now, have answered one of those 3 choices?
Cowboy, camel, or Arabian?
Yes.
There's 2 cowboys, a camel, and an Arabian.
Yeah, there's 4 people.
4 people total.
4
All right,
people.
let's roll a die and find out who gets a copy of
So
Guardian's
that's
Call.
independent from the other copy
Oh,
that's for
someone
all
said-
the commenters,
I would've said
right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but I
these
was
people are the
cooking.
commenters that have successfully. I'm voting for you guys. Whatever you think.
We have 30 other people that are in the.
Yeah, well, it's always a random roll, right? So whether they randomly got selected as one of the 30 commenters or one of those 30 commenters who happen to also be right, increase their chances.
All right. The winner is Kevin Ray.
Kevin Ray! Congratulations. Be sure to send your address to Sarah,
Definitely.
S-A-R-A, at tangentmouse.com, and we'll get you a copy of Guardian's Call. Congratulations. I have another announcement to make, because let's do the, what is the game called? Fortune expansion.
Oh, here.
We've got a t-shirt, thank you, and copy of Fortune to send to, now you may not be watching live, but we'll get you in contact with you. Our winner is, just read that first one, I guess, Jason from IP address, I don't know. I've got your email address, Jason. Congratulations. So I'll reach out to you as the winner for our Fortune expansion.
Whoa, very nice.
And then if you'd like to be entered for the other Guardians Call copy, you can go to our website, tangentmouse.com. Scroll down a little bit on the right. There's the Enter the Current Contest. Put your info in there, and then we'll draw a winner from that
For
as well.
another Guardians Call?
Correct.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
All right,
lots of fun.
go to tangentmouse.com right now and enter. And you'll be entered for all our
Contests for the
future contests.
Pretty awesome stuff. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We nailed it. We're on the hour mark. I
on
think
the
we might
hour.
have started a minute late. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Still working it out, but next week, next month, when are we doing it again? Do we have a date? Next month? March. We'll be back again. We also have a What's on the Table scheduled, or a
Tantrum Talks this Thursday night. So join us at 9 p.m. Thursday night Eastern Time. 9 p.m. Eastern
We'll
Time.
probably be giving away stuff then too and having a good time. So thanks so much for joining us. Hope you guys had a great morning. Ryan is typing stuff, but I think he's going to close it out, and we'll say goodbye. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Still on.
The long goodbye.